Atkinson, Richie Coombs, Bill Forty, and myself, Frank Duggan. First on the list, we'll call for the Holbrook Forest Committee.
I'm Heather McClellan, brand new appointee on the committee.
Congratulations.
Adam Fabian, 45 Red Ave, Holbrook. I'm also brand new to the committee. I just got sworn in this afternoon, so.
Well, thanks for your service, both of you. It's a kind of a thankless job, so, you know, but thank you. How can we be of service?
Tim Gordon just asked that we kind of introduce ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
let you know who we are, because I don't know anybody. And then Adam had a couple questions that he wanted to run by.
You guys know I've been before you guys, so I kind of have some idea of some of the stuff. But like I said, I'm brand new to the forest committee here. But the trails, I'm pretty shabby, need work. I just have a few questions as far as maintenance, what we can do, what we can't do, what's your jurisdiction, what's the town's jurisdiction, you know what I mean, as far as that goes. Do we have, you know, has there been a survey of the forest that delineates what's wetlands and what isn't wetlands? Do we know of?
So, any clearing or maintenance of a trail, provided that there's no machine work, we really don't have any huge concern about.
Okay.
I mean,
so-
obviously, you're not gonna go out there with a chainsaw and start wiping areas
No,
out that,
but leaners and, you know what I mean, leaners
Yeah.
and deadfalls and stuff like that.
Absolutely, any trimming or maintenance of any trail, provided that it doesn't cause a fire hazard and it's not, you're not altering the characteristics of a wetland, which would basically be if you remove shading from a wetland, that might be a concern, but,
Like, we'd only be doing
yeah,
Dead trees.
brushing back maybe
Yeah.
some of the trails.
yeah. Yeah, what I would
We were just out
suggest,
the other day, like water bars, are you guys okay putting water bars in trails, you know what those are?
no,
Like I was just
I just
telling
learned
Heather,
for
she
myself.
just learned about, like when we were coming down out of the Highlands, down
Mhm.
towards the high tension lines that
Mhm.
run through the forest. I just mentioned to her, I said, did you notice how everywhere else there were leaves, but we were walking on a nice clean path in the middle of fall? And she's
Mhm.
like, yeah, that's because the heavy rains are running right down the center of the trail,
I see.
which is gonna cause erosion and everything else. So
Mhm.
water bars are basically, you know, you dig and put rocks in or logs in across the trail. You know what I mean? You're disturbing the trail, not around the trail. That way you prevent erosion and you prevent the topsoil from getting
Mhm.
washed away.
Sure.
So just, I mean, it's minor alterations, but to the trail bed, not to the grounds around it, you know what I mean? That's kinda why, you know, I know like if it was a dead tree, we could probably cut it as long as we're not disturbing the soil, but something like that, putting a hoe to the ground, that's a question that I had.
Yeah, I would say if you maybe, you know, get a trail map, show us the areas that you want to impact, flag them all out with like some yellow ribbon or something, and then we'll all take a walk out there, we could certainly help you with
All right.
anything that will, you know, anything that you may wanna make for improvement out there. Do you have a budget? I mean, do you have?
We get 500 a year.
Okay.
And the goodwill, sweat and strong backs of
Mhm.
the,
Yeah, of course.
the
No,
conscript
I
labor.
understand. Like I said, it's a thankless job, but, you know, perhaps you can solicit the town for more funding, you know. We don't have anything either, so.
No,
Yeah.
I know, you know what I mean, like I said, I was
I
just
got
saying.
$10 on me, I think we can maybe see if we can pitch in and, but we would certainly be more than happy to help you if you wanna map out a plan, something that we can kinda look at here, and then we can go out and do a walk
Sure.
and determine if anything you're gonna do is gonna alter or, you know, alter a
Okay.
wetland in any adverse way, but I think that would
Yeah,
be.
if it's normal trail maintenance,
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, trimming a branch off the middle of the tree is not an impact, it's, you know,
All right.
but blazing a new trail might be, so,
I think there's enough out there to keep.
yeah, I would think so, yeah. Right.
What, are you, what, three?
Yeah.
Three-person,
Who
Dave,
else is on the board?
Dingle
Dave
Dye?
Dingle,
Dingle Dye.
Okay.
Dingle
He
Dye,
couldn't be here tonight.
Yeah, okay,
I was doing 3 or 5.
great,
yeah, just three.
sure.
And
Other than that,
I actually have that question. There was one that we were wondering, is there some sort of map that distinguishes within the town forest, what is conservation land and what is not?
Well, that'd be a wetland.
BIGSA?
Yeah, a GIS, yeah,
Yeah.
that would help. You wanna suggest maybe which, you gotta go on the website for that? You go to Mass GIS and, download the, they have, data layers. Go to, wetlands data layer, and that should give you a pretty good idea, even when you focus, you'll get an idea as to the rough area of where a wetland area might be. Also, vernal pools are marked on there as well.
Alright.
So if you get too close to a vernal pool, you'll kinda know it, but I would try to get, some of the data through there, and I'm sure that maybe DPW has, some kind of, map showing boundary lines, cause I know a lot of that stuff is out there by the town of Weymouth, right? A lot of that abuts Weymouth.
Abuts Weymouth and Braintree on the other side, so.
Yeah,
I know there was a trail map.
The trail map's hanging out down here, and
But it
that's,
doesn't show wetlands, does it?
no,
It just shows the
that
trails.
doesn't, that's a map that was probably about this big that is blown up to be the
Yeah.
wall size,
Yeah,
so it
right.
doesn't really show much of.
are there markers out there, trail markers?
Yeah,
Are they
Yeah,
well
trail-
maintained, are they,
Yes.
yeah?
well,
They need some
they need,
updates, but they have.
they need maintenance, but
Yeah.
that's, painting
Right.
diamonds and squares and,
Right.
that type of stuff on the
Mhm.
trees, so
Yeah.
that's not.
Our former chairperson has her hand up back there.
Hi,
Ah.
if I may speak on both boards, because that would be good. I'm Tricia Greeley, former chairman, member of.
And thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you for yours. There was a survey of the outer and inner plots that make up the town forest done by Norfolk County Engineering. And there are maps, and it was registered with Norfolk Deeds. And there is a listing of what properties are the jurisdiction of this committee and that are under the other statute, which I think might be either 65A or 23A, which is town forest,
Mhm.
but town Holbrook, and then there's some that's town forest conservation.
Right.
I think that's more ownership issues that we're talking about. And one of you guys, and I can't remember which one, came out one time, maybe it was Mr. Forty with Mr. Eunice, and we went out in the Blue Trail, cause that's the only place
Oh, I
where the
remember
trail
that,
was
yeah.
ever
Okay.
rerouted, and
Yeah.
you said it would be okay to be over there.
Mhm.
All the other trail work we ever did was on existing trails,
Mhm.
and we did do some other guys to move, like you had said at that time, so.
Right.
If that gives you any help as to what your previous, rulings and
Yeah.
decisions were, so there's just one place out there where we rerouted it to get it a little bit out of the wetlands that was in,
Mhm.
if that helps. And
Yeah, I
think
remember
maybe
that, it
show
went
on there.
down, and then there was a little bit of a black area there, and,
Yeah, when it's,
okay.
when it's wet, that's
Yeah,
the area we
right,
would
yeah,
say,
you almost
let
couldn't get
people on,
across.
we would say,
They talked about building a bridge, but then it created a little bit too much trouble,
Well,
pressure
yeah,
treated
we said
lumber.
we had to use the trees that had fallen down already,
Yeah.
we couldn't bring in any lumber,
Right.
so we just didn't do it, so. If that helps,
Bog bridges are fun.
Yeah.
yeah, if that
Can be
helps
done.
with the ownership.
Oh, yeah, no, it's actually not that bad, but.
Alright, that's all, I just wanted to add one of you in case it helps somebody.
Great.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Point
you.
of information, if I may, the town forest is open to hunting, and on season is open archery right now, just so you know.
Well, I won't wear any antlers when I'm out there.
Sundays.
No, but if you look up a tree and see somebody up there, I mean, don't panic. Won't
We're,
be me.
we're orange.
Yeah.
Well, I'm typically out there with my Cub Scouts, so, I'm now the den leader for the Tiger Cubs in town,
Yeah.
yeah, so.
Okay.
All sorts of excitement going on, but, yeah, there won't be anyone hunting when the Cub Scouts are out there, I'll tell you that right now, because there isn't an animal within a half mile.
Good to know.
All right, thank you
All
very
right,
much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay, moving on, historic session. We'll move to 51 Wright Ave, Kathleen Rourke.
Yeah, I have the engineer here and
How you doing?
So just to clarify for public information, this is a continued, basically a continued discussion on a violation, a possible violation that was cited by the board. Okay?
Yes.
So,
For the record, Joe Davenport's here.
Good evening. Sean Hardy, engineer for the applicant, and also Ken Thompson. At the last hearing, if you recall, I explained, there was two concerns I think that the board had. Number one, what if any wetland impacts were done, with some of the site work that had happened on this site? And secondly, that, like 2A and 2B, secondly, that the drain pipe that was installed in the driveway was installed in such a way that it's proper, and then also that there's no drainage impacts further downstream. At that time, I had explained that Mr. Thompson had been on the site and looked at vegetation and didn't feel that it met the criteria to be considered a wetland. He wanted to revisit the site and do by soils. So, before you is a report. Certainly Ken's here, he can speak better to it than I, but basically, I think he's indicating that he did not find wetlands in the area of any of the site work that happened. So I went, and I have a memo here as well that I submitted to you. Certainly, an existing condition survey, meaning what's there today, was easily compiled. White Land Surveying went out and located what was out there, the limits of the bituminous concrete driveway, the limits of the gravel parking area. They indicated the 2 8-inch PVC pipes. They didn't see the pipes that those were connected in. In the report, I show a picture. They're in fact 2 10-inch ductile iron pipes. The downstream ends is what I took a picture of, so you can see. It's on the 3rd page. That area, it's certainly got a bunch of debris in it, so I doubt it's been maintained certainly recently, if at all ever. So one of the recommendations is that should be cleaned out. I did go on the other side where the PVC pipes are and shine a pretty powerful flashlight down there, and you can see straight through, so you can't, it's free of obstruction other than at the ends needs some cleanup. I think it's probably based on leaves and things falling off the end of the driveway, so that's one recommendation certainly that I have that should be done. Other than that, it was difficult to find what the site looked like beforehand, because so I utilized a few different things. Like Mass GIS, it was tough to see, all those scales are funny. So what I did do is, I know the house was sold within the last year, so still, thank goodness for the internet. There's the MLS listings for some of those, and they had some pretty decent pictures at the time. So as you go through, so after the picture of the pipes, I have on page 4, it's what it looks like today from the driveway looking into the site. So you can see the bituminous driveway, and you can see the gravel off to the left. And the other one's certainly not the same point of view, but it gives you a gist of what it did look like. There was some landscaping and a fieldstone walkway there. The next page shows different views of the yard to show what the vegetation was that I was using to try and run some HydroCAD type numbers. Those would be, certainly it's lawn or landscaping, but it's in poor to fair condition at best. So that combined on the last, this is kind of the bird's eye view, and believe it or not, the MLS listing had it clearer than any other website I could find. They must pay some subscription, but it kind of shows, it had the driveway that went in there existing, it had the walkway, kind of gives a perspective. Still hard to see the limits of it, but again, the MLS listing indicates that there was parking for 6 cars available there. So I used all of that kind of information to come to the conclusion that there's about a 500 square foot increase in driveway area that's like on either side of that walkway. And then I compared the remaining area, and as I said, that vegetation wasn't all that great there, so it's a landscape but a poor versus what's gravel today. And the hydrological soil group, as Ken pointed out in his report, it's wood-rich soils, so they're not very good soils. They're soil class D and C and D on either side of the site. So when I calculate what the runoff would be, the increase increase in a 100-year storm, it's only about 0.01 CFS and only 0.002 acre feet, so it's a minimal increase in runoff for this area for a pretty substantial, drainage area contributing to this, trench and pipe. The other thing I note, I didn't have a good way necessarily of saying it, but the PVC pipes are back pitched as they connect into the ductile iron pipe, so it actually, if they had not done that, it would have raised it and it would have caused an upstream impact versus now the water can get out at the same elevation coming down that trench as it could have before, so certainly I don't think intentional, but it's beneficial that it was that way. So I summarize that I do not feel that there is any impact that this work causes to downstream, as far as runoff issues go. And again, Mr. Thompson's here if you had questions or whatever, but he indicates that he does not feel that there are wetlands that were impacted.
How about upstream?
Impacts upstream to drainage?
Yeah.
No, I don't feel so. Two 8-inch pipes versus two 10-inch pipes, the difference is, it's not all that much different. When you take into account, if you look at what that drainage ditch looks like, it's probably never ever been maintained, so there's all kinds of trees and things that have fallen in it, vegetation everywhere, so, I mean, the thing that's probably allowing more water to pass than anywhere else at any point along the line are those culverts.
Do you know how the connection was made between the 8 and the 10? Was there a reducer put in, a proper reducer, or was it just
No, it
jammed
was
in there?
stuck in the hydraulic cement.
So that's all it's holding it?
Yeah, but the outside diameter difference of the PVC versus the inside diameter.
It's not that much?
It's not that much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the board has to decide if there's a wetland there and if it's jurisdictional. That's the question, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, by the, Ken's here, you can speak on that.
When went on the site, I went, to the east of the house, down grading of the house. That drainage ditch that runs along the driveway, it's all upland trees growing out of there. Cherry, sassafras and things like that. So when you get to the east of the house, you see the fill area, but you still have a patch of lawn there before you enter the woods. So I went inside the woods, about 10 feet off the stream, dense layer of sweet pepper, thinking I'm gonna hit it here. And it's woodbridge soils. It's like a 50-50, 51-49 on the vegetation, and then you get an upland soil. Okay, it's a nominal upland. Ridgeberry soils come in from the back. It's an ag field out in the back that drops away. That's probably wet by the agricultural standards, i.e. by soils only. But the ridgeberry soils do come up in the back, northeast corner of the property. So which is the back right? Behind the house, to the right. Went down in there. And the vegetation's upland. It works out to be an upland vegetation and wetland soil.
Can you just point out to us, Ken, where
Sure.
you're talking about that area?
All right, the first area, which is plot 1 in here, I
Yeah.
should have provided a plot, is like right in here.
Okay.
I'm about 10 feet off the channel here, and it's a nice, thick, sweet pepper patch. So I figured I'd hit wetlands there. So I did a plot, and that came up with upland soils. And I think a 6 wetland plant dominance, on the dominance test, 6 versus 5 upland. So it's a nice mix in there. There's a large oak overstory through this whole area and through back here. The second area, I'm probably out in this corner, right up in here. Now, there's a farm, a sheep farm or something going on over here. But, so the wetland soils are coming up, but they don't have the vegetation to make it a regulated resource. There's a house here and a house right here,
Okay.
so I didn't chase it into the area.
When's the last significant rain that we had? Last week? Last week? Can I-
Friday.
Friday, yeah.
The abutters are here, the neighbors are here. Ms. Sheridan, would you like to comment about last week's rainstorm? What did it look like to you?
Hi. Yeah, my name is Judy Gudotti
Sheridan, I am in the butters. We've had a severe drought, so it's been very dry. This is constantly being referred to as a ditch. It is an intermittent stream, okay? There's a difference between a ditch and an intermittent stream. A ditch is man-made, an intermittent stream is nature-made. The Supreme Court and the Army Corps of Engineers are sort of in sort of a battle over this particular thing, okay? The Army Corps of Engineers considers it to be wetland or to be a stream. The Supreme Court is sort of, so that's just an aside. I have several concerns. One is if there were a new home placed in there, okay, with a 20 foot wide driveway over a, what do you call that, a culvert? Is that what it's called? I'm not an engineer. What would the requirement be for the piping?
Yeah, we don't know that because we didn't have a proposal in front of us. We're just trying to determine that if what they put in is adequate.
Right. So I'm not sure if it is, because I've lived there for 37 years. And the pipe that was in there before, which was underneath a 10-foot driveway entrance, we now have 20 feet, 10 feet of that gravel going in the intermittent stream. So, my point is, I really think that it needs to be determined if that's been done correctly. I think you need a rubber, so I don't know, my engineer anyway wants to come out, and we submitted he sent a letter in today, okay, which I have here, I think you probably received. Yeah. Okay. So he wants to look at my property
Sure.
and see what kind of an impact
Okay,
this is
all right.
going to
And
have.
just so you know, this information that's been submitted tonight is public, so he can have access to this
He
as well.
has it.
Yeah, he does have it,
Received it at
okay.
the last minute.
All right.
He was on vacation for 2
Okay.
weeks and just came back.
Sure.
Okay.
So, I mean, we can just kinda, I mean, the information that has been presented here is pretty clear. I think if we just kinda sit it out and wait and see what happens during a rainstorm. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, cleaning out some of that culvert, might be something that would help.
Yeah, excuse me. An intermittent stream is usually runs during the spring.
Yeah.
And we do constantly have water
Right.
running in that,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah.
So,
It does dry up over the summer, right?
it dries,
Yeah.
and they do.
Yeah.
That's normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So we've had a severe drought, so
Yeah.
this has been, the land has been much drier than it
Okay.
normally would. So the rain that we had last week, in my opinion, is
Mhm.
insignificant,
Sure.
because the earth is just so.
It's not
thin.
saturated, right? Okay,
Absolutely.
all right, okay.
Is this listed on any maps, Ken, as an intermittent stream?
Good question. It shows up in the wetland layer originating from the road, from Belcher Street.
From
The blue
Belcher's?
line, they're not marked as intermittent or for any. I can
So it's
look
not
at the,
classified by DEP or anything, any other
To
data
be
layer?
classified, it has to have a wetland above it.
Yeah.
Otherwise
Which it
it's
doesn't.
Not that I
Yeah.
found,
It looks like the Belcher Street drainage ties into it,
but this,
this catch basin.
Yeah, okay.
storm drains
Yeah.
and then head
Which I
wall.
drove over, cause they're in the process of paving and dropping the 3 inches, so they're noticeable, but yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Should we maybe allow them to clean that out by hand, just get the flow clear and see what happens over the next?
Well, I mean, obviously, this has been like this for
Yeah,
years,
right.
so,
Yeah.
by,
But I'm saying by allowing them-
maintaining it, it's gonna allow the flow to move through there.
Right,
Which is a double-edged sword technically,
yeah, you're letting more water downstream, I get it.
But that's what it was designed to
Right.
do. I
Right.
mean, I think the question is, my question would be, are the 2 8-inch pipes gonna be sufficient for the flow that was there where there was 2 10-inch pipes existing?
Mhm.
I mean,
Well, it looks like 5-inch pipes because it's so clogged up with dirt.
exactly,
Yeah.
so if those two 10-inch pipes were functional at 50% capacity, I would say, by the picture, then the
That's
two
right.
8-inch pipes would be sufficient, you know? But, my suggestion would be, yeah, to clean the end of the 10-inch pipes out and maybe to put some riprap in front of the 8-inch pipes so that these 8-inch pipes don't, so that we have some, we're not getting a wash through the pipe.
I agree. Shining the light in there, that there isn't anything in the PVC pipes, for whatever reason, it's like it's slumped off the driveway on the other side.
Yeah.
And I did call it out as that should be, and I spoke to the owner. It's certainly something that could be done by hand.
Yeah.
You know, a shovel and, it's not easy getting in there, but
Mhm.
whatever, that's.
So, Mr. Hardy, is it your opinion that the amount of impervious surface that was installed does not significantly impact the runoff?
Yeah, I call out that, again, it's very difficult to know after the fact what, with 100% certainty what was on a site, so I spent a lot of time looking at every photo I could. I came up with basically roughly, I can even, go so far as to show you the hand sketch that I did in the process of doing it. I mean, based on the other aerial photos, the old driveway kinda came in through there, and the
Mhm.
walkway was down, so I'm looking at two areas there of
Yeah.
increase in pavement, and it's about 500 square feet. That combined with, you saw the pictures of what the vegetation looked like, and the Class D soils, there's not a whole lot difference
Mhm.
between gravel and soil that's not currently growing grass or vegetation, so it's a minimal increase.
Okay,
On the pipes themselves, so now we got 210s, and again, just looking at cross-sectional areas, it's gonna come back to a velocity. 210s are gonna give us 200 square inches nominal size versus 128 square inches, again, nominal for the 8-inch, so we're talking about roughly 1.5 times cross-sectional area on the 10-inch pipe as opposed to 2/8. Even though it's only 2 inches, but cross-sectional area, it's gonna be 1.5 times greater on the 10s. And it's just a question, is that gonna impact the flow through that system?
I don't think so,
and-
I think I said that, I might not have called it out actually, but I did, if you walk that channel and look at all the other obstructions and things that are in it,
Yeah,
the restriction is not the 8-inch pipe, the restriction is
Yeah, it's
many of the other things.
the natural conditions and the trash that's in there.
Mhm.
Right, so if you were to model, I mean, an 8-inch PVC
Oh, I
pipe
see.
has a lower coefficient of friction than a 10-inch ductile iron pipe.
Right.
If you, I mean, you can look at this thing
Yeah,
a
that's another
thousand
factor.
different ways.
Mhm.
A flat or relatively flat channel with debris, logs, you know, gravel in it has an even lower coefficient of friction, so it can't transmit water as fast, even though its area is larger. So there's a lot of variables, but
And the flow is going from Belker down,
yeah,
so the
Yeah.
8 inches is picking up first, if anything, it would back up
right,
towards Belker.
right.
You know, it might back
It's
up a
pretty
little bit
flat
more.
in that section that I don't think
Yeah,
it's,
cause I know at Belker, at the beginning, it's all cracked up there.
right.
I don't know how flow gets in from Belker.
I think it's piped from the catch basins, but
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I did not, after I dug through to find those 10-inch pipes, I did not dig through up the other end. But the catch basins are right there.
Yeah.
What's the end proposal over here? Is it just to lumen seed what you have here and leave the gravel? Is that it, or is there more expansion involved with this project?
Right now, the owner is here, but there's talk of potentially coming back and asking permission to do a garage at a later date, but for right now,
Well, if there's no wetland here, there's no jurisdiction. So I'm just wondering, I mean, what we see here now, is that the extent of the impact, or is
I
it?
believe so, yeah. And like I said, how it was phrased to me was sometime in the future, I
Yeah.
would like to do a garage. I
Okay.
said,
Mhm.
we'll talk future when future comes, but for now, let's see.
I think I'd like to just maybe table this for a
Is
little
there-
bit and let some.
Yeah, is there any other public comments?
I just wanna see it get, I agree with Ms. Sheridan that we should see it.
Yeah.
I've seen that area when it's saturated and it's a disaster, so before I say that this is okay, I would really like to see the area, you know, like saturated and see, you know, I know we got more rains coming up in the next few weeks. I think it wouldn't be rash to just wait, you know.
No, well, we could,
And
That could
also-
take years.
we could, move to continue this to the next
Right. Excuse me.
public meeting to allow her,
Engineer.
engineer to take a look
Engineer
at it
look
and
at it.
whatnot, so that's fine.
Alright.
So,
Okay,
we have a motion.
yeah, so we're just gonna continue, we'll just, take that under advisement and thank you. There's no hearing to continue, so.
What's our next meeting? We have dates?
November 16th.
November 16th?
Yeah, it was after Veterans Day, right?
November 14th.
We can continue the discussion the first week of December.
First meeting in December?
Yeah.
Yeah, December meeting, yes.
Do you have a date on that?
21st.
I don't have a calendar in front of me.
Is it 21 days?
Could I ask you, when you say wait and see, or wait specifically, so that if an event happens that I know to go look to, what?
Yeah, I mean, if we get a
waiting for?
2-inch rain event, I mean, what do we have, an inch and a half last weekend? Yeah, I mean,
2 inches.
you know, so I'd like to see it at the next rain event, cause now the ground's a little bit saturated, then, you know, we'll see how the hydrology's gonna behave,
Yes,
so.
snow
And
coming in
Mrs.
Thursday.
Sheridan, if you're,
Snow coming, yeah, probably, yeah,
If you-
then we'll figure that out, right?
if your engineer has a report for us that we could review before then we'd be more than happy to take a look at it before that date.
Before December?
Yeah, sure, you can submit that anytime, Ms. Sheridan, and we'll be more than happy to.
When is December?
Yeah, it's December, we're gonna, but if you wanna submit it prior to December.
Yes,
December's meeting, I'm just trying to figure that out.
Why not November?
Because veterans.
Because you have to have a meeting in November, right?
yeah.
Yeah, we're not
we
gonna
will
take it
have-
up at the next meeting, we're gonna take it up the following.
If there's a report, we'll forward it.
Well, I would hope that they would give it to me, because I've been on the phone with them in the last week and a half about 6 times, so I'm a little surprised that they're at the last second asking to review and whatever, so
Yeah.
it's a little disingenuous.
December 5th.
December 5th,
December 5th. Well, I mean,
November 14th.
Yeah, 14th.
yeah, I mean, we can discuss it at the next meeting, but if nothing's changed and it's not, you know, if there's nothing different to look at, I'm not comfortable with just saying, oh yeah, what you did is fine, and, you know.
Why don't we continue to the next meeting, November 14th?
So you wanna?
We'll revisit it at that meeting, and if there's any, new information from your engineer, we can overlook it at that meeting there.
Okay.
And if need be, we can continue it again at that meeting, so, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
And again, it's not a hearing, it's just a continued enforcement, we're just trying to figure out if
No,
there's
that's
anything
why I
there to-
just wanna know, like, if
Yeah.
I did a drainage design in Weymouth, and every time it rained, my wife thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
In the car, it was 11:30 at night, she's like,
I don't want you to go every time,
I'm
Sean.
going to see if it's
Yeah, I got you,
flooded.
yeah,
I just wanted to
Okay.
get an idea.
yeah, okay. Alright, so we'll look at it again on November 14th, and that'll be at 7:30 PM. Okay? That's it. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
You want me to we'll just continue, 300 Center Street, there's no new information on that?
Actually, they're filing NOI, so it's
Okay.
gonna be, our next meeting, November 14th.
Okay, alright, so we'll continue that till the next meeting,
Yeah.
The enforcement up at 300 Center Street. 2 Phillips Road, there's no information, did we try to contact him?
I did send him a letter.
Okay,
Yeah.
he didn't respond?
No.
Okay, alright, so no response on that. was that about 6 George Road?
The
So
engineer
we
is
will,
here.
Oh, yes.
so we'll continue notice of intent, DEV 182-0486, 6 George Road. How you doing?
Good evening. How
Yeah.
are you all tonight?
State your name for the record, please.
My name is John Spink, S-P-I-N-K, and I'm the engineer type person.
Type
And-
person?
Type person, yeah.
Are you a civil engineer?
I'm a civil, I'm a structural, I've been, I don't wanna go down the list.
By
I've been at-
signature and seal?
I've been at
or-
this for
Yeah, okay.
forever.
But by signature and seal, you're a?
Yes.
Okay, all
Yes.
right, that's fine.
In any case, I don't know what you actually have in hand. Do you have anything in hand?
We had a sketch that was submitted.
There was a whole pile of, that looks like it, yep.
Yeah, so what we found is that the plan that was submitted was duplicated off another plan. Am I correct on that, Tim?
Yeah.
That's correct. It's an overlay of the existing site plan that was given on the house when it was built.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, so did you contact that engineering firm to use their map? I mean,
No, I did not.
isn't that illegal?
No, not really.
It's not illegal.
No, it's not, no.
So for you to submit a plan,
I wouldn't go as far as saying it's not illegal. If it's not illegal, it could be unethical.
I mean,
under
it's work product.
Anyway, the point being with it is that shows the original wetlands that were in as of record.
Okay, but then you
Yeah,
took the proposed wetland filling and went over that map, right?
Yeah, to give you the orientation for where the original was.
Right, but you didn't create a proposed map showing the location of the new fill, how much was in there.
Yes, I did I overlaid what I had done for the survey on top of that, so you could orient the two together. There's another drawing in there of the whole thing overlaid on top of it.
Yeah.
All of that has been out in the field and measured and laid on top of it. So it's always laid on top of it so you can see what your original was compared to what your proposed is.
So, okay, so, I guess what we're looking for is,
It's very difficult to determine where things stopped and started,
yeah,
because it's all small area.
And there was no new wetland flagging.
No new wetland flagging, no. No.
So you don't know whether the wetland migrated or not, if it dried up? If it-
It's actually, the wetlands, the infrared from the DEP doesn't show any wetlands in there at all, okay? And the soils are, of course, we can't tell anymore because it's dried, hasn't been wet for a while. And the plant vegetation is marginally some facilitated, but not much. But what we're going with is that it was originally set as a wetland. We don't wanna argue about the wetland line so much as we wanna argue about, you know, what can they do to, her problem is that she can't get out of the garage.
okay, so what is the area of impact?
The area, I'm sorry. It's been a bit. The area of impact of the wetlands themselves is 0.
There was a wetland area filled that we estimate to be over 1,000 square feet.
I have no idea where that is. It's all, the wetland area line that was originally done,
The delineation.
on the delineation that was previously done, okay, the location of that is at the edge of that yard where they filled upland from that, not down into the wetland.
Did you take any soil samples to see where the wetland soils were?
No, we did not do a delineation of the soils, no. I mean, we can do that if you wish, but that was the the pre-sump on that I started with was, is that there's already been a delineation. I don't necessarily particularly arguing about the point of it and where it was, except that from what I can tell from the survey of what's there and what's not and where the thing was before, because there's obviously no flags or anything left, that has been filled with some rock layer at this juncture, because there was an original design for it, okay, this is the original design. And the design is pretty much done, but in this area right along here, they put additional rock on top of it, you know, like this.
So what is the edge of current non-lawn growth?
Say that again, please?
The edge of current non-lawn growth.
Current edge of non-lawn growth. Okay, that's the edge of what is not grass, basically. It's the edge of the, you know, weeds and bush and brush and whatever it's in there.
Okay.
There's some grass here, there's some stone here, and then in back of that is scrub.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what are you asking to, these maps
Well-
are just very unclear, we're trying to figure out
Yeah,
what you're asking.
It's very difficult to do because of all the different things in there, but, okay, here's the deal. Is this an enforcement action?
Yes,
It is an enforcement action to
Yes.
begin with, okay?
Yep.
So in addition to that, I filed a notice of intent to have them be able to expand their driveway
Mhm.
over to the edge of where that wetland was, basically, so they can back in and out of their garage.
and that's approximately 1,500 square feet is what you're looking for?
Let me go back and get the numbers. The area of the additional driveway is about 1,500, but none of it into the wetlands, it's under the bordering.
Okay, so how are you gonna retain that? That was another question we had.
Small rock wall.
So there is gonna be a retaining wall,
There's gonna be a retaining wall and a
Okay.
bumper along the edge of it so they don't back over it.
okay.
Yep.
Are we going to get a plan that's gonna depict that?
It's in there.
Like a full-scale plan?
Well, you have them give you full scale of anything you want here. I just thought you would probably rather do files with smaller pieces of paper. The 11B is a cross-section of it. Okay, and, I believe 9, that's not 9, what is it? Next
Edge of
to-
pavement.
Edge of pavement. That's the existing edge of pavement, yeah.
Yep.
And then another one, put this in.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, on 11A, the extent of the little wall is that existing stone approximate driveway is that section at the edge of the existing pavement, past the blue area there. So it's basically the length of the existing driveway, just to make it come out and add enough distance, which is maybe about that much,
Mm-hmm.
to actually get them to, so they got a flat rate. We've downgraded a little bit, so that it comes out of the driveway and goes, or out of the garage and goes down like this, so they don't have to fill as much height, okay?
Yep,
And so if they fall over, it doesn't, it's still gonna bang up the car, but
mm-hmm.
so, gonna prevent her from driving off of that driveway?
Bumpers.
You think that's gonna stop her?
I don't know.
I'm just curious as to why, this is really not a conventional plan that we're used to seeing. Usually, we see a site plan with a stamp on it.
Full-size,
Yeah,
20,
how come we
20
don't
scale.
have that here?
I just do it because I'm getting a lot of complaints from the conservation commissions, they can't take the paper, they're not taking paper anymore. Everybody's taking the small stuff.
Well, I mean,
But I'll
those
do
plans
anything
are,
I want with
you
it.
know, I mean, not for nothing, I mean, that's just not what we're used to seeing. I guess
Okay.
that's why we're a
I
bit
can,
baffled.
I can create all kinds of large drawings for you if you want, no problem.
It would just, see, to clarify what the scope of the project is, I mean, we really, you gotta kinda strain your eyes, and it's not,
Oh, I'm not disagreeing, it is,
I mean,
it is small print.
and honestly, I've never seen anybody's work product be used again at a conservation hearing. That just makes no sense to me at all. I'm just curious as to why you don't have a stamp on that.
I don't have a stamp on any of these, I don't believe, I think I
Yeah.
just stamped the front of it.
Well, the plan should be stamped. I mean, how do we know you're an
I
engineer?
stamped the report.
How do we know you're an engineer? I mean, it's by signature and seal, right? If you're a certified
Yeah.
civil engineer,
Yep,
you should have a stamp, right?
Yeah, I do.
Your work product should have a stamp. That's your work product, right? I mean, I'm not trying to be a
No, I understand,
hard ass, I'm just saying, that,
I did stamp it
I
someplace.
can't decipher that, and I don't even know if that is a plan that's drawn up by a qualified engineer.
Oh, there it is. It's, on page, notice of intent. I stamped the front page.
Can I see that? Thank you.
Um,
Is that on our
May I
copy?
I beg your indulgence, may I sit down?
Yeah, please, I'm sorry.
I'm trying to recover from Lyme disease, muscles aren't working all that well.
Okay, so, a few things, just, yeah, it's on there. Just so that you know what we're looking for, we'd need a full-scale plan of this, with the cross-section of the wall and
I'll
whatnot.
give you all those with,
The area of impact, and then we need the offsets off the foundation,
Yep.
to the wall,
So that's
to
all.
existing driveway.
yeah, that's all in there, you just can't see it, that's all.
Yeah, it's just a
So-
little tough to make, I'm not trying to give you a hard time.
Very
but-
tough.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it-
You know, I'm
okay,
just trying to make sense of it,
yeah.
and the other thing
All of that
too,
data's there, so.
the other
yeah.
thing too, John, this is public record, and when we're long gone, this is still gonna exist.
Yep.
So if we can't understand it, how is anybody in the future gonna understand it, you know? So, I think that's fair, right?
Yeah.
Make a plan, scaled up.
Yep.
With your stamp on it,
Mhm.
providing the amount of area of impact, how many square feet,
Okay,
and then we'll go from
not
there.
a problem.
Okay.
Do we want the wetlands redelineated?
You wanna do, yeah, you wanna do those?
At least the area that you.
I think, honestly, I think it's bottom of hill, I mean, the wetland is bottom.
Yeah, I mean, we can accept the old wetland line if we have a plan that we can read a little bit better.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I
That's
don't
fine.
see that it migrated.
That would
you
be
know?
that was my conclusion, that it hasn't moved for.
Yeah,
since
and
they
we would
built the
agree
place,
with you.
so.
We would agree with you. We
Yeah.
just wanna see a
Okay.
little bit more
Okay.
clarity,
Yeah.
you know?
Alright, that's no problem.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so,
We'll see you at the next meeting, which is November
14th.
14th,
14th?
7:30
Okay.
PM.
Alright,
And we'll see you with a full plan with a stamp on it, and
I
thank you,
appreciate it.
thank you for your patience.
thank you much.
All right.
Thank you.
Do we have one of these that's continued, or is it both brand new?
Okay, yeah, why don't we move to, 157 Druid Hill Ave, Alexander Aloysius? Not here,
What was that supposed to be? Is that an enforcement order, or?
informal discussion.
Okay, all right. He's out of there. And Mr. Gioso.
COC 182482, Westdale Extension Lot 80.
Mr. Gioso,
Yes, sir.
how are you? Good.
completed the as-built. We put all the slopes, we put the grass net, the environment blanket, so the soil is stabilized.
Mhm.
Mr. Stinson came out this morning and took a look at it. Everything, I believe is fine.
Everything that he shows here has been done, except for the grass blanket over here, and then the slope back here. It's been, the blanket and everything else is hydro-seeded.
It's been sprayed?
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
coming up on the hydro-seeding areas and stuff.
Okay.
It's not fully grown yet, but it's, you can see it
If it's
coming up.
sprouting, that's fine, that's
Yeah.
good enough, that's
And
stabilized.
the building and everything looks
Okay.
pretty much as the as-built shows.
So we have an as-built, we have an inspection, and we have a motion. Motion to approve the certificate of compliance?
Second motion. Motion made, second, all in favor? That is unanimous.
We'll sign that tonight and get that, I don't know.
Tomorrow, next week.
Yeah, sure,
No,
that's fine.
Thursday, right?
Thursday.
Because I'm not here, I'm in the
Okay.
other office, and Wednesday I just, and Heidi's not in,
Okay.
and I'm just in.
Okay then.
Oh,
I
really?
have
So we're doing
one more thing
completed,
I'd like to
right?
bring up to the
Complete,
board. On the west side of Westdale Road, on the upper side, I had the Pine Brook Consulting, Brook Monroe, check out for the wetland and all those lots, there is no more any wetlands. And in a couple of weeks, I'm gonna have, I only got 4 copies.
Yeah, I got a copy of that.
Yeah, we
And
have
the
copies.
second page, I called the Brooke, what's the conclusion? And she put the conclusion that there's no wetland. In a couple of weeks, I'm gonna start building on lot 63. That's at the far end by Dalton Road. The engineer's
If I'm coming in Dalton Road, is that on the left, the first lot on the left?
Right, first lot on the left, yes.
Somebody wanna take a walk out there, have a look at it?
So, she's saying that there's no wetlands there, but,
All those lots, there's no wetland.
okay, was that depicted on the subdivision plan?
Might be.
Yes, there was 2 small areas, wetland, which we put a drain pipe across the road, and those dried out because, as you remember, those was created by the flooding of the upper land. And
Right,
now-
but was that,
Now with the pocket wetlands and the drainage, now it drains out, so they dried up and went back to original conditions.
so those were replication areas?
The ones on the right side of the
No,
road.
those were created by the town of Holbrook when they installed the sewer back in
Yep.
1989.
Mm-hmm.
And now, because we built the road, put the pocket wetlands on the other side, put a drainage pipe across, and now you don't have the water going
Yep.
there flooding anymore, so the
Mhm.
wetland receded.
Okay,
Okay, we'll have a look at it.
thank you.
Again, if Mr. Stinson would like to go and take a look, I'll show you.
Okay, all right. He's got your number, right, he can give you a call when he gets a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any.
Call, you can call the office.
Yeah,
Call the office.
Yeah, call it until Tim needs to track you down.
Actually, yeah,
Mr. Stinson will give you all the free time he's got.
do you have a cousin named Walpole?
Who did you say?
Hey, well,
Walpole Stinson,
no,
Sidney Stinson?
no.
My nephew married a girl that inspires me, same year, Sidney Stinson. in Walpole.
You got mine?
Looks like you.
Poor kid.
Okay, thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank.
I need some more energy.
Okay.
181 something, right? Do you have a file on it? Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Wetlands Protection Act and the Town of Holbrook Wetlands Protection Bylaw. Holbrook Conservation Commission will hold a public meeting on Monday, October 24th, 2016 at 7:30 PM in Holbrook Town Hall, first floor meeting room, to consider a request for determination, project description, construction of parking area consists of paving and associated grading, utilities. Portion of the proposed parking is located within a 100-foot buffer zone to bordering vegetated wetlands within an area of existing maintained lawn. Applicant Granite Street Realty Corp., project location 177 to 181 South Franklin Street, map 21, plot 178, map 21, plot 179, map 27, plot 037. For the applicant.
Brad Cartwright, Granite Street Realty.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Good, why don't you explain a little bit about the project and,
Well, hopefully we're gonna be tearing the old Twin Brook building down, the house out back down,
okay,
constructing a new building, mixed-use building with some office space and some condominiums above it. And the engineers felt as though we should file just for determination because we're downgrade of the wetlands, but within the 100-foot buffer zone.
Where is the wetland? In the back of the
It's
property?
up in the high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up in the
Back,
back of the
yeah.
high school.
right. Yeah, here's the wetland way up here, it looks like it's just on the backside there, and the buffer zone is right there, so a portion of that parking is, I see it.
I don't think that's a different map.
There's another one here if you need it. You're welcome.
So this is the existing site right here? Existing conditions? So right now, there was a building here, right, that was torn down?
Yes.
Am I correct? Okay, so,
Yeah.
so right now you have an area that's just basically what, just lawn?
Correct.
Got a lawn area there, this is all pretty much lawn. And it looks to me like you have, a pretty significant amount of impervious surface. And did you provide offsite, on-site drainage for these?
Mm-hmm.
You did? Okay, so where, I'm just trying to find where the,
There's a big Caltech system in there.
there is, okay. Yeah, I saw the catch basins, but I didn't see where they were going to.
Actually brought site plans too, if you wanted to look at
Oh,
that.
subsurface
That's just-
detention, yeah, do you
right
have
there.
detail on that?
Just, I should have it. Let's see.
So this is all storm scepter in here? I mean,
Yeah.
I have the same page, but I just don't see what the storm scepter detail is.
Let's go next one, there's a detail somewhere in here.
This is it.
Button page here. Yeah, it was all in the, determined under Stormwater Management Act.
Yeah,
They
okay.
Determined all that.
Right. So, I don't think I got a wetlands concern because this is all downhill, right? And obviously, all this water is gonna be caught into these basins. So I don't think we need an independent, analysis done on this because all the wetlands way back there, so there'll be no, as far as stormwater goes, I'm just talking about just the stormwater itself. You know what I mean? Everything is going downhill, right? There's nothing that's gonna go back there, there's no detention areas or anything like
No,
that?
and actually, let's see,
Is this
the
being,
back,
this being tied into the catch basin on South Franklin?
yeah.
It is.
As an overflow or as a?
No, it's if what is it, it can't go any faster than it goes in now at the same rate. It'll contain in
Mhm.
there
Yeah.
as it goes in.
Isn't there some retention values on the subsurface drainage though?
Oh, yeah. Just see if I have a picture, because grass areas probably can pretty much stay almost the same, it's pretty close to the same size, the grass area that's on the back part anyhow.
Which-
Well, this will still be all grass up and through here.
Yeah, but I mean, this is all grass here now, this is obviously gonna be buildings and everything else.
Right.
Are the roof drains running into this subsurface drainage?
They're gonna go into a system too, I think it's out front here is where you got it to go in.
Infiltration bed 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I see it, yep, okay. So there's
Tries to
pipes
roof
running
drains
up
into
there.
that.
And that's not even his property, right? So he's 30 feet away from the property line with the wetland area? That's town of Holbrook. That's St. Joe's.
It's all down,
Yeah.
it's all downhill.
It's all downhill from here. So the only thing I see missing on this plan is, siltation protection, even though it's uphill, you should still have it there.
Should be now.
I didn't, it's not shown on either plan.
Thought I saw somewhere up by the fence and things where.
Yeah, I didn't see anything there.
Should be there.
Where are you gonna put siltation?
Just to protect the area.
From, is it gonna have to flow uphill over the wall?
No, but if he piles fill back there, there's a chance that siltation can, infiltrate.
No. Okay, don't waste a good hay bale. Starting horses out west.
Yeah, but I don't, the regulation's clear. If you're anywhere near a wetland area, you're supposed to protect it,
Yeah,
so.
you gotta fight gravity.
There are places in the Grove where water frequently travels up.
Yeah, it's not like it hasn't happened before.
I've seen it since I was
Go to
a
New
kid.
Hampshire, you'll see water travel up.
Where the puddle is halfway up there.
No, I
not the
think,
bottom
I
there.
think if you just set up a siltation barrier on the edge of your property, I think it'll be fine.
Let's
It
get
doesn't
magnetic
really-
field.
It doesn't really have to be indicated on the
Just,
plan.
can I see again how much of the parking lot was in the?
Well, this is all, right now, there's only a certain area that's,
Well, this was the existing structure,
Cut through
and
there,
this
so
was
that-
paved here.
Yeah.
I mean, this was all parked over here
yeah.
and here, so they are, do you know what the total,
Impervious surfaces, I don't
well,
remember.
But everything's going into subsurface
over and
drainage.
above what was there? But there was no, I don't believe there was any,
We didn't ask for any relief of lot coverage or anything like that.
Yeah.
We met all the coverage of the bylaw.
no, but I mean, was there any stormwater management on the site
Oh, that's the back
Presently,
line there?
no.
Yeah, yeah,
Is this back
so
line?
It's right
it's
here.
definitely,
That area is in there, but everything runs this way.
it's
No, I
definitely,
was just curious how much of
Yeah.
it was, but it's clearly a small percentage.
definitely increase in value because now they're, storing on site before it's leaving the site,
Yeah.
so.
Right. So it's improved water quality,
Yeah.
it's within the buffer zone, but there's really,
No impact.
the elevations, let me just look at the elevations here. So you got 192, so it's actually gonna slope down from where it is now. The lowest, the parking lot elevation's at 187. Top of slope over here to the proposed is 192. There's nothing here. just a request for determination of applicability,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Okay.
It will be a -3.
Yeah, all right, I don't have any other concerns. If the board wants, I'll make a motion.
Yeah, do we have, just have a form, just make sure we're doing the right negative?
Yeah.
I
Alright.
just on the signature page, you doing negative 3 or?
Yeah, we gotta just, close,
make
we gotta
sure it's-
close the hearing first,
Okay.
and I
Should
just
be
wanna make
work
sure
within
that
a buffer
there's
zone,
some
but
comments.
no impact.
Yeah.
Comments from the
Yeah.
public.
I just don't remember if that's 3 or 4.
Okay, well, she's looking for that. Is there any public comment? Questions? Any
Alright.
questions from the board? No?
Mr. Chairman, I move to close the public hearing on the request for determination of applicability for 177, 181 South Franklin Street.
Second motion?
Motion to close and second, all in favor? That's unanimous.
Thank you.
And, Mr. Chair, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to issue a -3 determination, and that the work, is within the buffer zone, but does not adversely affect, the area.
I just wanna see the,
Okay, so Joe is gonna read the
Before.
official.
I just don't trust my memory no more. I wanna be sure.
Should be right on the form, I thought,
I didn't see
on
it.
the application.
And we've done this a million times, but every time
Yeah.
we do it, I have to go back and reread the
Right.
thing, because the wording is just,
Yeah, it should be right there in the. Determinations.
making you do the rounds tonight, huh?
Okay. Okay, Joe's gonna make the motion.
Or described is within the buffer zone, will not alter. Okay, yeah, so I move that we determine a -3. The work described in the request is within the buffer zone as defined in the regulation, but will not alter an area subject to protection under the act, and therefore does not require the filing of a notice of intent.
Second the motion.
Okay, motion made, second, all in favor? That's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Signature page. Negative 3.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it back to you.
This one.
What's the next step in that drain in the street? It becomes right into it. I think the high school's going in.
For the high school, they,
A lot of people are going in there when nobody's looking, what that would happen.
for the high school, they didn't print it a lot. They,
They bring the line down, tie it to the system.
Uh,
Yeah, that's the problem, yeah.
Do you know Pine
But they
Brook
go back to
Consulting?
the website, but-
Pine Brook Consulting, you know them?
Yeah, that was, Mr.
Brooke.
Gioso's, letter.
for a while, so it's constant message.
Just, someone should tell them to stop pressing the semicolon and comma key.
Okay.
The second page
Joe,
is,
can I hire you as an editor?
Yeah, there you go. That's it. You will have perfect
the
English.
the entire second
The
page is
content could be completely wrong, but at least you'll be punctual.
If you read it, they're all incomplete sentences, cause they just keep hitting semicolon every phrase,
That's
which is
funny.
the same as putting in a period. I
Yeah.
mean,
Like I said, Joe, how much you charge an hour?
Do
not
we
enough
have
hours
the,
in the day, sorry.
Anushka, do we have the RDA for 400 South Franklin? Thank you.
Well, Frank is slowing down. It's 1:45.
Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Wetlands Protection Act and the Town of Holbrook Wetlands Protection Bylaw, the Holbrook Conservation Commission will hold a public meeting on Monday, October 24, 2016, at 7:30 PM in the Holbrook Town Hall to consider RDA, project description, expansion of an existing one-story garage structure. Proposed expansion is a one-story, 640 square foot addition to the northerly side of the existing structure. Applicant EJ Gas LLC, project location 400 South Franklin Street, map 34, lot 42. For the applicant.
Chairman, members, Doss Harrington, attorney at law. I represent the applicant EJ Gas, and I have with me Edmund Mata, who is the manager of EJ Gas and the owner of the property at the present time. This garage has been in existence for a number of years, and Mr. Mata, only in 2016, after leasing the property for 2 years, took title to the property, paid the back taxes on the property, and has become the official owner of the property, and he's determined that he would like to use the garage for commercial inspection station. Size-wise, it doesn't meet the dimensions necessary for the Registry of Motor Vehicles to approve it. It doesn't have the interior volume of tractor trailers. Not that the trailer would go inside, but for the tractor to go inside. And for that reason, he's decided to apply. He applied for a special permit from the Zoning Board of Appeals to expand the structure 640 square feet, and that was approved at their last meeting. Filed with this a current survey of the property. I know that you've had a chance to look at it. It's in your file, and the 640 square foot would be on the northerly side. The current plan shows parking in conformance with the bylaw. There's never been parking at the site, and striped parking, and that was approved by the building inspector. We did file an RDA because there is a wetland on the property. The area where the 640 square foot garage expansion will take place is more than 100 foot from the wetland, 130 feet, 140 feet. And the owner appreciates that the Conservation Commission has jurisdiction over this property because it is a small wetland, which was mapped on the plan and delineated by Sam Thompson. In all caution, we didn't want to suggest to people it's 140 feet from the project site, and therefore there would be no wetlands impact. We wanted to apply, show you the plan, do a complete Form 1, and recognize your jurisdiction and ask you for a negative determination. We believe that the current survey of the property and Mr. Thompson's mapping would provide sufficient evidence that the area depicted on the plan is an area that's a work area below is not subject to any wetlands determination, and that a negative determination should issue.
Is the wetland, is it on the property or is it on an abutting property?
The wetlands are on the abutting property.
Okay.
I think I misspoke.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't another one. You said it was on the property and it didn't appear to be on the
I
plan.
misspoke.
I have some questions about that. Now, that was a subject of groundwater remediation. Did you look into that at all?
Yes, I have a current status report from Expedited Environmental Solutions, they're the LSP that's,
Yep.
in, control of the property now. And, a copy for each member,
Has the property been cleared?
Has DEP given it the two thumbs up? Cause I know there was a consent order on this, am I correct?
Yes, this is still under site removal.
Okay.
And there's over 1 million gallons of contaminated water removed from this site up through 2012.
Uh-huh.
That went on for 2005 to 2012. And at that point, the testing indicated that the groundwater was still somewhat contaminated by a plume on the northerly side of the property, which is Franklin Street. You can see on the current survey map where they show the concrete pad where the USTs are located. That's the area of contamination, the front of the property. And it will be in remediation for a number of years, depending on what the DEP determination is. They'll allow this to be entombed, the wells will stay in place. It could be a 15-year plan, but that's the jurisdiction of DEP. It is under a program with an LSP in place, and the remediation will continue. My client bought it knowing that it was partially remediated. The new tanks were installed, all the contaminated soil was removed, and 1 million gallons of groundwater was pumped out. This little addition to the garage, the 1-story addition, will not create any wetlands issues, and it is well outside the jurisdiction, the 100-foot limit.
Yeah, I don't agree, I agree with you completely on the wetlands jurisdiction, however, I don't think that we have the jurisdiction to approve this on a request for determination, because it still has a DEP consent order. We can't approve anything that's under a DEP consent order without DEP consenting. I mean, they are the jurisdiction right now that has control of the property. We're not even the right people to ask. That's my opinion. I don't think that we have jurisdiction to approve a construction project with a site that has a consent order from DEP.
I don't think respectfully that we're asking you to approve consent, to give you consent to the construction.
Yeah, but I'm saying this is the wrong mechanism, this request for determination, because it's, DEP decides on these projects, not us. If it's out of the jurisdiction of the wetland, the only jurisdiction left is DEP. It's a contaminated site.
And it will continue to be a contaminated site for many years, because when you try to clean up a gas station after spill, it goes on and on. As long as it stays in compliance with DEP regulations, that's all an owner can do. It will be remediated. I can't tell you if it'll be a 10-year plan or a 15-year plan.
No, I know what you're saying, I just don't.
And I'm not asking you to consent to the construction. I'm asking you to make a determination that this construction, based on the plan, will occur more than 100 feet from any wetland. And the wetlands will be properly
Yeah,
mapped by
I see what you're saying.
Ken
Okay.
Thompson.
All right.
The determination is that it's, although we respect your jurisdiction,
Right, but
this construction is outside of your jurisdiction because you have evidence that it's more than 100 feet away from the mapped wetland.
is the slope gonna change at all? I know that there's a slope out back there, so there's no change in the slope, there's no expansion of that slope?
No, no.
Cause you know that we've had to stop that 3 or 4 times, right?
I understand that.
I mean,
and-
that's why I wanna know now, I mean, if you're gonna expand, now's the time to say.
Well, the answer's no.
Yeah,
And one of the reasons we're here,
Yeah.
even though we had mapping showing it was more than 100 feet away, is that we wanted to make sure that we came out of, recognize the jurisdiction of the commission.
yeah.
and provide evidence that there's no question that our activity is more than 100 feet away.
Okay, so let's just say that we decide that that's not our jurisdiction, separate and aside from the contamination of the ground area. Do you still have to go to DEP?
It's not a question of go to DEP, they have it. They have an open case on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
have they
Yeah, but
been
d-
notified that,
yeah, I mean,
that,
do they-
that you're adding
Expanding
expanding the building?
the structure,
Because, I mean, that would be, our diligence would be to check with DEP to make sure that they don't have any issue with that before we would sign off, because, I mean, I agree with Bill, technically the property is under DEP's control right now, so.
no, the cleanup is
But
under.
the cleanup is,
cleanup is-
well, if you're contaminating groundwater below the property, then, you know, that could be an issue that
The conti-
DEP.
Yeah, disturbance of the soil, any disturbance of soil over there is something that DEP has to review. What we wanna know is, have you consulted with them on this project? Because, I mean, I can tell you, I work with an environmental attorney in another city, and we can't even put in a storm drain pipe on an area that's contaminated because it has a consent order.
Well, this is not an excavation for utilities. This will be a pad, a concrete pad.
Yeah, but you still have to excavate it, you still have to disturb the soil. Am I right? I mean, you're not just gonna pour concrete on top of the dirt that's
No,
there.
I don't believe you would. There is a pad.
Yeah.
And you're gonna expand the pad.
Okay.
And, that's not the contaminated soil. That's why I brought the report. The
Yeah.
contaminated soil is
Is way down the
under,
back,
is underneath the old UST area.
I see.
Designates, tells you that it's in the northerly corner.
Sure.
That's the plume.
Underneath the concrete pad,
Well,
it's in the front corner of the.
well, you now see a concrete pad, because that's a current survey. There probably was a concrete pad there before, but that was dug up. The old underground storage tanks, which were leaking, were taken out. New tanks were put in. The material was all taken off-site. And then, yes, ultimately, they put another concrete pad on to
Yeah.
protect the
To
USTs.
encapsulate it, yeah.
Well, that's just to protect the USTs
Mhm.
from trucking activity and
Mhm.
so
Right.
forth.
So there was a plume that extended from where that concrete pad was out to the back where the monitoring wells are. And at this point, we don't know where that plume has withdrawn from yet. We don't know if it's still in this area or in this area or in this area,
Well,
so.
the report tells you it's here. Now, the wells were put down property to see how far it migrated, and also to get current testing. So all of the wells still show some minor petroleum contaminant in groundwater. But the groundwater at this location, it also tells you, is 10 feet below the topsoil. So groundwater near the garage is 10 feet down. And down in this area, it's only 4 feet down. It also tells you that. And I noted on copies that I gave you where it said 10 feet. So the activity here is 10 feet above groundwater. There's no contamination in that area. Contamination is here, and if it migrates in groundwater. So this little bit of construction activity is 10 feet above.
Yeah, I still think that
If we were gonna put utilities in there, any type of utilities, water, sewer, so forth and so on, which is not part of this project, you would be excavating. Then you would need your LSP on site.
you still have to excavate a 4-foot frost wall for this garage.
Right.
You're gonna excavate above groundwater, yes,
Yeah, no, okay, all right, I just wanna be clear.
way above groundwater.
I still think that, I'm not comfortable with issuing anything on this until I've spoken to DEP, so.
I think the,
Well,
I think because it's public hearing, we should take the time just to check with DEP, just to see what they have to say about it. Because, I mean, if this is not a notice of intent, they don't have any comment to weigh in on.
it's not. It was filed to make sure, because of the history of the property.
Yep,
Mhm.
right,
That this commission had a current history and a current status
Yep.
report.
right.
And I think the status report makes it clear that there's 10 feet, 10.5 feet it says,
Yep.
for groundwater at this particular location. And where the plume is, where the contamination is. This construction activity does not require an alteration that impacts a wetland. It's an alteration,
Mhm.
that you're gonna put a foundation in,
Yep.
actually in a pad. But it has nothing to do with stormwater. In addition to that, the building itself has an internal, system for roof drains, so. I think the question is whether or not, there's any activity here that relates to the off-site wetland.
And you're
So
saying
what-
the addition is to be used for inspection,
Commercial inspection,
commercial inspection?
you need 46 feet between the headlights and the board
Right.
to do a commercial inspection, where you might only need 30 feet for normal passenger car.
So there's not work gonna be done on vehicles there, so the kind of things that, infrastructure you might have to put underneath where you're gonna do mechanical work is not gonna be required.
Oh, it'll be a garage. It'll do minor repairs. It is a garage now. And, that'll all have to conform to the building inspector's requirements.
Mhm.
But the key reason for the addition is to do commercial inspections. You need, the registry requires 46 feet from the nose of the tractor to the
Mhm.
board. And it can't be done in this garage based on its
Mhm.
size. There's nothing else going into the garage. That's it.
Mhm.
And it'll have your typical passenger car type of lifts too.
Okay, I still wanna run it by DEP, so we'll continue it for one meeting,
Okay.
and we'll take it up in the next meeting,
So I move we continue the hearing until,
November.
November 14th?
14.
And if there's no problem, then we should be, I don't have any other concerns about the plan or anything else, there's no. Roof drains, do you have roof drains proposed there for any of the impervious surface runoff you're gonna create?
Is it tile,
The
and the
building,
drywall on the dry?
Is it drywall on there? Okay,
the building,
Yeah, up in note two.
yeah,
the structure itself is built with internal
yeah,
drainage,
okay,
just for the roof.
yeah,
Just for
okay,
clean water.
all right, sure,
And
okay,
that, the note on the plan says that
yeah,
this area will be expanded into the
okay,
existing,
oh, all right,
which
yeah.
is where your building is.
Where the, yeah, where the awning, the drainage for the awning goes? Is that right?
It's all internal.
Yeah.
And
All right.
your
Okay,
building is-
before we continue, is there any public comment, questions? Sir?
Jeff Parrish, 14 French Road. I believe, the wetlands is on my property, right up to the back of the station.
Mhm.
And I was under the impression from the appearance that the monitoring was done because the observation wells have been destroyed for the most part. They used to have, it's a metal pipe that extends up and has a metal cap on it that had a padlock. And all of the caps except for one are gone. The PVC pipes on the inside on most of them are broken. So I was under the impression that everything was done. So I guess that comes under DEP, but,
Yeah, that's why we just wanna check up on it,
Yeah,
just to see what the
they
status
can't
is.
monitor properly
Right.
the way it is now.
Yeah. Well, the groundwater remediation equipment was taken out of there in early 2010, I think, pretty sure it was.
Yeah,
So it's
but
not
we were
pumped.
getting reports
Yeah.
every other year or so
Right.
on the condition of the soil.
Yeah, then the monitoring company didn't get paid, so they pulled out.
That's why,
So-
okay, we haven't seen them in
That's why
this
there's questions on this site, so that's why we need to check with DEP, you know. And I was told, the last time I called, when, in 2014, when there was fill being dumped over the edge, I did call DEP and they said that there were massive concerns with this property, so that's kinda why we have to take a look at it, just to see what their comments are, you know. All right, so we'll take it up at the next meeting, and I'll give them a call, and we'll see.
Any other
Well,
questions?
All right.
Comments? Okay, there was a motion,
Waiting for a second to continue the hearing to the 14th of November.
Second.
motion second, all in favor? It's unanimous. We'll see you on the 14th.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Last one now was 64 Center.
Yep.
Do you think I should, give it up to the man instead of town hall?
That's not here.
I think I should, it's for public record. Disclosure. Public.
Yeah, you could.
Okay.
Well, let me over, let me continue first. Okay, moving on, we are going to continue, notice of intent?
Because if you're not an engineer, it's better to over-design.
Right,
than
yeah, that's
under-design.
my motto,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Okay, all right, good. So he did his homework on this, he gave us footings, I'm good to go.
I would, just recommend to the board to continue to next meeting.
Okay.
That way, if anyone that didn't make the meeting, where it wasn't on the agenda, we can, bring it back up.
Yeah, the problem is that it didn't get on the agenda on this, so the notification,
Right.
the people from the public may not be,
So to
aware of
close
this.
it wouldn't be fair,
Right,
okay?
But let me just say this, at the next meeting, we should be able to issue it to you, and there shouldn't be any issue.
Alright, what's the next meeting for me? So
November
It'd be
14th.
November
November
14th.
14th, okay?
So when, sorry to cut you off, so once I get that, I'll be all set to proceed
You're good to
forward.
go. Is there an appeal on a request for determination? Is there an appeal period, like a notice of intent, or an order of conditions?
There's 10 days.
10 days, okay, so there's a 10-day appeal period.
I don't think it is because he's gonna submit this to DEP,
Yeah,
so.
okay. There is a 10-day on our local though, so,
Oh, all
okay,
right.
all right, but that's,
Okay, that's fair, makes
Okay.
any sense, I talked to
so
everyone.
we're good with it, as long as the public's good, we just wanna make sure
Okay.
that we, you know, we're gonna put it on the agenda for the next meeting, and you should be all set,
Alright,
okay?
okay.
All right, so you've met the burden of, you know, criterion for everything that we needed to make the approval. And, we're not promising you an approval, but we'll just say that it looks good,
Okay, thank you
Okay.
so much.
all right?
Thank you for your time.
All right, thanks for your patience.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so, motion to continue the request for determination of applicability on 64 Summit Street until November 14th at 7:30 PM.
Second the motion?
Motion made second, all in favor? It's unanimous.
That was a good move, I think, Frank.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the minutes.
Sorry, there's no minutes. I'm sorry.
No minutes, that's okay. That's fine.
There is a building application to be signed for this 811, 823, they did submit the new plans.
Oh, okay, that was the,
That was the,
Holbrook Co-op?
yes,
Yeah, okay.
so just wanted to show it to you.
So there was a revised plan showing what? What were they supposed to show the last time, remember?
I think, this part, volume marking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right, in the back. Yep.
Okay, that's on here. Compensatory flood storage, okay.
Okay, so, hold on.
So we already
Yeah,
issued.
this is
an
not
order.
not on an agenda because this is just a building permit that
That's
needs to
fine,
be
yeah, we
signed.
already signed it, we're just
Yeah.
acknowledging that they submitted the last plan. We already issued this to the,
Yes,
I mean,
they
the,
already,
order
yeah.
of conditions.
Yeah, it was just pending,
Yep.
revised plan.
Beautiful.
Anything else?
Well, I'll tell you what, if there's no more public business,
Colonial Federal.
Colonial Federal.
Okay, I was confused, cause you said,
What did I say?
you said co-op, Hobart Co-op, and I'm
Oh, a
like,
co-op, yeah, that's right.
what's going
I
on?
did say that.
That's why I
you're
was
right.
asking, what are they doing?
Yeah, right.
Okay, yeah, alright, I understand that.
All right, there's no more public business here. I make a motion to close the public meeting.
Motion,
Second.
all in favor?